You're locked in to the hottest station on the planet.
Resistance is futile. The revolution has begun.
You're listening to Rebelpreneur Radio, helping you break the rules and build the business you need for the life you want. And now, broadcasting his pirate signal
from somewhere beyond the status quo,
here's your host, best-selling author, marketing and media strategist, Ralph Brogdon.
Hello and welcome to Rebelpreneur Radio. It's the show that helps you build the business you need so you can live the life you want. I'm Ralph Brogdon. A lot of entrepreneurs and rebelpreneurs have a dream, have a desire, have a passion, have a goal for their business. But I got to tell you, if you don't have a grasp on the financial realities of being in business by yourself and for yourself, it's going to be really hard to build the business you need and create the life that you want. Today's guest is going to help us because he's really a financial expert and can help us get to the bottom and get to the root of what's creating this dissonance and this confusion in our lives when it comes to dealing with money and handling finances. I'm speaking with Caleb Guilliams. He is the founder and CEO of Better Wealth Solutions, a company committed to show people how to be more efficient and control their money today while maximizing their future wealth potential. He is the author of The And Asset, and he hosts the Better Wealth podcast, speaking around the world with a true passion for financial education. And he's on a mission to help people see and reach their highest potential. Really glad to have you here today. Caleb Guilliams, welcome to Rebelpreneur Radio.
Hey, thank you so much. It is an honor to be on here. And I'm just so excited, man, about our conversation and interview.
I am too, because it seems like every day I'm looking at financial decisions and I don't know what to do. I mean, at the time that we are recording this, the stock market is at an all-time high. And so that would tend to say, don't buy, but then others say, well, it's going to keep going up. And so you should buy. And everyone has a different opinion. So I really want to get into your strategies and what makes you unique in the area of building wealth. First, tell us a little bit about your background. How did you get started on this path, and what's your story?
And thank you so much. I love opening with just story in general, because it paints the why and why this matters to begin with. And I want to paint a picture for your listeners. If they would see me right now, they'd be like, how in the world does a 15-year-old kid know anything about money? Because I look very, very young. But my story really starts with this. I, at 12 years old, had one of my most embarrassing moments. And I was on stage, forgot all my lines, super embarrassed, went to my mom in tears because I was dyslexic, could barely read, was super short for my age. And I just 12 years old, life is over. and she said something to me that it profoundly has impacted me, not just today, but is what I do for people in the future. And she said, Caleb, don't worry about the things that you can't control. But the things that you can control, go all in. And I know that there's a lot of people listening to this that are in the process of starting their business. They might be in business. They might be crushing it. But control is a huge, huge aspect. And so at 12 years old, I took that the right way. And I said, you know what? I can't do anything about my height. But the things that I can do something about, i.e. my reading, i.e. how I show up in the world, i.e. how I interact with people, I'm going to go all in. And so I got my first job gutting chickens. Yes, processing chickens. I appreciate the chicken sandwich more than most people, okay? Because I appreciate where it comes from. And I got paid $1 per chicken that I processed. And I started making money. And that translated into thinking about, okay, my money can now work for me. I read a book called Richest Man in Babylon, which I would recommend your audience read that. And one of the principles in that book is 1/10 of what you make is yours to keep. Pay yourself first. Mm-hmm. So doing that, I started investing in real estate. I started investing in option trading. I started investing with my parents' stockbroker. I started just learning amazing things about how money works. At 15 years old, I was I committed to myself that I wanted to dedicate my life. I didn't quite know at the time that I wanted to help people reach their highest potential, but I wanted to help people get this whole money thing right. Because if you get money and you understand that it's a tool, you are able to show up way more powerfully in the world. You're able to do, oh my goodness, man, I get goosebumps just thinking about it. And when we see people come alive when it comes to that. And so I got a job at a bank at 17, worked my way up, and at the age of 19, ended up taking over the investment department while going to school full time. And the CEO of our company told me something that's super cliche, but I again took it to heart. And I think everyone could apply this. He said, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And Caleb, I know you care so much about the people that you serve. And so I'm going to give you autonomy. I'm going to give you freedom to truly figure out the best. And so at 19 years old, when I looked like I was 13, I really took that to heart, made my mission statement, which was to help people see and reach their highest potential, realize that most people are unable to live to their God-given potential because of money, and went on an obsessive journey over 2 years, cold calling and trying to find the best of the best on taxes, investing, efficiency, and all kinds of other strategies as it relates to how to truly help someone maximize their wealth, and begged them to teach me and mentor me. And I'm just an example, a result of the many amazing men and women who pour their blood, sweat, and tears into me. And we are on a freaking mission to share with people that some really key concepts that we can go into a little bit later, but share with people a better way. And so I left the bank at 21, and everyone was telling me I was crazy. Caleb, you too young. No one will ever work with you online. Who are you to, like, you're 21 years old. You know nothing. You didn't even go through the 2008 crash. Like, how are you able to actually help someone as it relates to money? And humbly and self-aware, we went out and now we work with people in over 33 states. We have the ability to work in all 50 and speak across the country. Came out with a book called The And Asset, and I'm just loving what we get to do, and we are on a journey figuring it out as we go along.
Very exciting. Now, you've been traveling across the country, learning from top financial advisors, and have discovered some strategies and principles to empower people to create and protect their wealth. Your book is The And Asset. Tell us a little bit about that book and what is The And Asset?
Right. And so The And Asset is I'm going to backtrack. There's four pieces when it comes to the financial strategy that I've learned. And if you're listening to this driving, don't take notes, but if you're not, jot this down. So the first thing is, people don't know thyself. So the most important question that someone could ask before they ask about where they should invest or whatever is why it matters. And we in our company talk about ROR instead of saying rate of return. ROR stands for return on result. Get super, super clear on what result you actually want. I love talking to entrepreneurs because they get this. They know they have an idea of what they want, so they get crystal clear on that. The second thing that I've learned from a bunch of wealthy people that I've learned from is efficiency. Efficiency is, I could come to you, I could drive to you right now and it would take a while. Or I could hop on a plane and fly to you, and the same end result's the same. I get to meet you in person. The deal is, one gets me there much faster. I'm shocked how many people are not being efficient or not even thinking about efficiency as it relates to their money, although we all, love being efficient with our time. And so the wealthy people that I've learned from don't talk about products to begin with. They look at their cash flow and they ask the question, how can I optimize my cash flow? Where am I losing money that I shouldn't be? And where can I be optimizing my cash flow? What assets do I have? Retirement accounts, real estate, whatever. Are those actually the kind of assets that are helping me live the life that I want to live? And do I have a debt strategy to better show up more powerfully as it relates to that? And so the second aspect is all about efficiency. And I would just encourage people to do an audit of what's going on and ask the question, is the activity that I'm doing giving me the result that I want? The third aspect is where you save your money. This is where I wrote the book. This is where our specialty comes with our company. And it's very misunderstood, but we help people save their money in a special type of life insurance contract that has nothing to do with the insurance benefit. Just we do it something, we overfund it, meaning we put as much money in and get the least amount of insurance benefit as possible. But what that does is it allows a cash buildup where your money will grow the rest of your life with special tax benefits, but you will also be able to use that money like a bank to invest in your business, real estate, invest in education or whatever. And so we're teaching our clients on how to get their dollar to do two things rather than one. Hence why I call the book the and asset. You can do this and something else. And then the fourth aspect, and this is where wealth is really created, is wherever you save your money, how you use your money really matters. So the use and control of capital is one of the greatest, most misvalued aspect of our wealth. And the person in the institution that can control capital, control money throughout their life will win every single time. So we teach our clients to control as much money as they can and really invest it in the things that will give them the greatest return on result. And so hopefully when I sometimes start with one thing or one product, we kind of miss the big picture. But if someone can have clarity, someone can be efficient, if someone can save their money and use it in a way that's powerful, you, my friend, whether you're a millionaire or you're just getting started, that's the blueprint to create, to live a wealthy life.
Very interesting, and lots of gold nuggets in there that we can take and begin to apply. In the people that you work with and that your company advises, there's probably some typical challenges that come up, and I wonder if we could dig into that a little bit. What is the biggest problem from your perspective, the greatest obstacle that prevents people from really taking control, from capitalizing on their opportunities, from really getting clarity and being able to implement and execute a business and a financial strategy? Is there a common problem that you see over and over again with the people that you help?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple. One of the problems I see is I don't think people actually know what they want. A lot of people struggle with the question at the core. A lot of people say, I would travel and whatever, but that's actually not at the deep root what they want. And so the first thing is a lot of people are living off of what other people expect of them. The other problem of why this is really tricky is discipline. And I hate to say it, man, it's not the most fun thing to talk about, but a lot of people are struggling because they're not disciplined in areas of their life, and not just money, but discipline around their time, their eating habits, like just all kinds of areas, you name it. Like being disciplined is a really key thing. Another external factor is taxes. A lot of the people that I get to serve don't have a tax strategy. It's one of the first things that we look at is, listen, like taxes could be the greatest wealth eroder throughout your life. If you think about all the money that you paid to the government, and that has a compounded effect as well, that is another thing that we look at. And then most people don't have a strategy for paying themselves first. Most people are spending the money that they make and they're not being intentional. And one of the things that we pride ourselves in is we help someone create a savings plan, not just to save it and never touch it. We create a spending plan after that. Well, our clients on average are able to save 10 to 20% more than the average person because we teach them these efficiency hacks. And we realize that most entrepreneurs especially have a savings problem because they're on this hamster wheel, and a good one, but it's just tweaking their mindset and giving them a strategy to actually implement. So those are 4 areas that I've seen people lack. And if we can address those 4, anyone, and I'm telling you, anyone can really rise up and live free. And it's pretty fun to see.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, what it comes down to is you have to spend less than you earn.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's rocket science. Yeah.
But I mean, that's simple advice, but man, that's tough to do. And I wonder if you could address challenges specific to business people, particularly rebelpreneurs, solopreneurs, people running their own business. And a lot of them are trying to get clients. They're trying to get customers. They're trying to sell products. And they might object and say, well, you know, it's hard for me to have a personal wealth plan because I don't know from one day to the next with my business and my cash flow what's going to happen. What are some of the challenges there that they need to start rethinking?
Yeah, that's where I'm going to be selfish and say the reason why we are blowing up right now is most people are telling you have to choose. Meaning, and this is, I mean, people are going to be nodding when they hear this, is is when you either need to save in this retirement account or invest in your business. You either need to choose between future versus now. And I'm telling you, that's one of the biggest lies that we've been taught as it relates to our money. If you know the rules of the game, you don't have to choose between now and the future. You can have both. And that's why I'm such a huge fan of the and asset. That's why this message needs to be heard by entrepreneurs, is because, listen, if your business and what you're doing is that thing for you, you have a moral obligation to share your message. You have a moral obligation to serve people, and everything that you do should be able to back that up. And don't make the mistake that so many people do and just take money and sink it into a business, create a strategy around that. But that strategy, at the end of the day, when we talk about using money, the money that you save, you're going to end up investing it into your business. And now your dollar is going to get the lifetime compound growth, but it's also going to be able to inject capital in the thing that's bringing you the most joy and hopefully the most wealth over your lifetime. So a lot of our entrepreneurs have that fear. I had that dilemma when I first started. I was 20 years old and I'm like, man, I want to invest in business and real estate, but I'm also know that compound interest over 60, 70 years is pretty amazing. And the light bulb moment went off for me when I was like, I don't have to choose between one or the other, or I can choose between an and. I can have an and asset that can give me both. And I know it sounds too good to be true, and it really is not if we understand how this works and is set up.
You have a lot of resources on your website, and I wonder if you could walk us through as I think what's interesting about you, Caleb, is that you are really in the education business. You've got a lot of interesting resources and ways for people to get in touch with your expertise. Walk us through some of those assets on your website so that our listeners can get a lay of the land there.
The best website for your listeners to go to is andasset.com. That's asset, ASSET.com. And the reason, and I'm so grateful that you mentioned that, because we truly believe that educating people is the greatest thing that we can do. Because people will perish with the lack of knowledge. And so that's where you can get my book for free. All I ask is people pay for the shipping, so that you can get my book there. I have a whole library, free videos where I walk people through the different stages of clarity, of saving, of efficiency of the and asset, how we do things. Like, we have hundreds of videos. I also have all my podcasts at andasset.com. We have a free training. We're building a calculator system and a one-page report where people can type in their age and how much they save and what they want, and it kicks them out a personal one-page report that we email to you that gives you kind of an idea of what the and asset strategy can do for you. And the reason why we're continuing to build this, and the reason why it's such an honor to be on here with you, is I just have such a desire to share this with people, because you are your greatest asset. If you're listening to this, the greatest asset in your life is yourself. And yet, if you look at a balance sheet, you don't show up on there. So that is the number one problem. That's the number one problem, quite frankly, that we've been taught. We've literally been lied to. And so the number one thing is get yourself figured out first. And then all the other money stuff comes. But man, if you can create a wealth strategy that is aligned with who you are and what you're trying to accomplish, again, I get goosebumps just thinking about all of the people that have had breakthroughs in this. And it all comes back down to understanding that they are their greatest asset, and they get to show up in a way that's more powerful.
Very, very cool. And you've also got a course and a university going on here as well.
Yeah. And those just go into the videos that are on there. And for instance, we have a partnership with a lot of different people. One of the newest partnerships we made was with a company called TaxBot. And if you're an entrepreneur and you struggle with like tracking your mileage or deducting, one of the big hacks in entrepreneurship is tax write-offs. I mean, these are things that you can do. I mean, I could talk another 20 minutes on this, but they are activities that you can do that can reduce your taxes that you pay to the government. And we partnered with an app company that tracks your mileage, that you can take pictures of receipts that educate you on that aspect. And I'm just so honored, because I'm like, if you would have told me 2 or 3 years ago that we would have this partner with an app company, I'd be like, you're crazy. But they 100% are aligned with what we're doing. And we're aligned because we want our entrepreneurs to pay as little taxes as possible. So that's an example of cross education where we're going to truly try to have as much content as possible to help as many people as possible.
Very exciting. Well, I think that you are a wealth of information and that your website will be very useful to our listeners. If you want to check that out, it's andasset.com, and we'll have that link on the Rebelpreneur website as well. Caleb, this has really been informative and I think motivational for people to know that, that they don't have to figure this out. If this is not your thing, you can get the knowledge, you can get the education, and Caleb, with his wealth of information, can certainly make a huge impact in changing your perspective on wealth and finances. And so I really appreciate you being on the show, Caleb. Any final thoughts or words of wisdom that you'd like to leave our listeners with?
I want to leave you with a phrase, and it's the following: better the pain of discipline than the pain of regret. The last thing that I want to do in my life, and the last thing I want you or your listeners to do is regret a lack of action on what they know is important. And so I think entrepreneurs are what makes our America really great. And I just want to encourage you guys to stick with it and don't die with any regrets.
Words of wisdom from Caleb Guilliams. He is the founder and CEO of Better Wealth Solutions, a company committed to showing people how to be more efficient and control their money today while maximizing their future wealth potential. He is the author of The And Asset and host of the Better Wealth podcast. You can find out more at andasset.com. Thank you so much, Caleb, for sharing your wisdom with us today on Rebelpreneur Radio. I really appreciate it.
It's been an honor being on with you.
You've been listening to Rebelpreneur Radio with Ralph Brogdon. Download the show notes and much more at rebelpreneur.com.